Our feet are playing in the sand. The sea embraces the pink evening light. Love's horizon never ends. When lovers meet, is it by chance or fate? You hold me in your arms, I hesitate. Can love be easy like a summer day? Through the winter will you stay? The sun is gone behind the winter sky. Our romance is out of hand. Both of us inclined to say goodbye, neither ready for the end. When lovers meet, be it by chance or fate, some do survive it when things escalate. Now life is better with you every day. Through the springtime we will stay.
Welcome back. Jordan Rich Show. Here, hour number 2, and it is Destiny. That's the name of the song, the name of the CD, and it's Destiny that I'm sitting here with two amazing talents, and that was somebody sort of new on the scene, Louise Van Aarsen. And what a story you have. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Hi, Jordan. Nice to see you, too.
Congratulations on your debut CD.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sitting across from you is one of the reasons you're here. I know that, and I'm so glad she came along for the ride. She's not just coming along for the ride. She's one of the great talents of all time here in New England and in the country. Rebecca Parris, good to see you.
It's awfully good to see you, darling.
My goodness, it's been a long time.
It's been a very long time.
Since you've graced the studios here and also hung out with me, but it's lovely to see you. And you've got a brand new CD, too, that we're going to talk about.
Fairly new. It's a little old now, but...
Well, we're gonna have it on the air in a few seconds.
That's great.
I am just thrilled, though, for Louise, and I know you've had a lot to do with this young lady's sort of emergence, haven't you, Rebecca?
I guess you'd say that, yeah. Louise attended one of my master classes at the Cabaret Association, and she became my private student shortly thereafter. And all of a sudden one day she came in and said, I've got some, original songs that I kind of like you to listen to.
Yeah.
So she played these things for us and blew me away. I mean, the songs were relevant and fresh and adult and talked about life, real life, and I adored them. And so I said, we've got to do something with these tunes.
Well, Louise's story, I'm going to let you tell it, is just so cool because we have musicians in all the time, and I love the fact that everyone's a person as well as a musician.
Absolutely.
You have a life during the day that is interesting enough. What do you do?
I'm a scientist. I'm a cancer researcher, and I came here actually to the States from Holland in 2000. I have a PhD in cancer biology. And I came here for a postdoc at Harvard.
Wow. Very impressive.
But I've always sung on the side, ever since I was in Holland, too, as a teenager through college and everything. But I came here to do that research and kept singing and then met Rebecca at some point and started working closely with her.
Isn't that great? And there's an organization, the Longwood Symphony. I know you guys. The Longwood Symphony made up of doctors and clinicians.
That's right.
And there seems to be a synergy between the science and the thirst for knowledge and then adding music to your life. But you've really done it in a professional way. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
She's also a wife and a mother of 3 girls. So this lady is fitting 3 lifetimes into one as far as her busy life. My goodness.
Now, let me just mention, your name is spelled Louise, Louise, Van, V-A-N. Aarsen is with 2 A's.
Yeah, everybody gets that wrong.
So A-A-R-S-E-N.
Yeah.
And you had a debut party for this recently, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a party at Scullers. That was on May 8th, Scullers Jazz Club. And it was a sold-out house. And it was an amazingly fun and gratifying night. Everybody came out, scientists, singers, neighbors, everybody I knew and a lot of people I didn't know. And I was very, very thrilled.
This lady sitting across from us is considered one of the... I'm going to make embarrass her, but what the heck. Considered one of the finest vocalists of her age, and she has done it all. And to have her as your teacher, I mean, that's certainly an accomplishment in itself. What was it like working with Rebecca as a vocal coach?
Well, it's amazing. First of all, I didn't dare to call her for about 2 years.
Oh, you
after I first heard her at
were you?
Scholars. Yeah, I heard her at Scholars. And then when you get to know Rebecca, you think, how silly was I all those years for not calling her, because she's the most welcoming, generous, actually non-intimidating person when you really work with her, because she really cares about teaching you the tricks and actually letting you see how you can interpret a song. It's all about making the story, telling the story of a song and making it yours, and that's what Rebecca does exquisitely. And
Indeed.
I hope to do it a little bit better now than when I started.
And we should mention, you're from Newton originally, right?
Originally, yes.
And who taught you?
Oh, gosh. Life taught me, I think. I grew up in the theater and was doing summer stock very, very early on when I was a little kid with my dad. And I was in theater up until I was around 18 and went to Boston Conservatory and then went on the road as a top 40 singer. And I did that for about 10 years, after which I floundered a bit, was in a couple of different bands, and then joined a band that eventually turned rock and roll. So I sang hard rock and roll for a year and almost killed myself. And just voice-wise, I almost killed myself. Then joined a vocalese band and got back into what I call real music and songs with meaning and with good lyric and with language. I'm a language freak. My father was not only an actor but an English professor, so we were brought up with a great regard for the language. You know,
Right. Rebecca's performed with the greats. I mean, from Dizzy Gillespie to Woody Herman, Buddy Rich, and so many more contemporary people. And quite frankly, in the Boston, New England, Northeast region. And you've been in the midst of all of the great concerts and all the great things. And when you see someone like this lady, this Holland import, who is so sweet and earnest, she's got a nice natural voice, she's written these great songs, I mean, that must give you hope for the future, because it does me.
Well, it really does me. I mean, it absolutely does. There's so much nonsense out there that, you wonder whether music is really going to survive as a good thing. I keep looking at history and remarking that every great society, the beginning of its demise was the loss of its culture and its appreciation for its arts. And I watched that happening in the U.S. with our, with the loss of music classes and the that parents now have to pay as an extracurricular thing. Music was never extracurricular for me, I'll tell you. It was what I lived for in school, and I see it being demolished by certain things, and it breaks my heart. I see less on the air than I ever have. Live performances are suffering now because everybody's stuck on their couches with their VCRs and their, and their DVDs and their this, that, and the other thing, and it's games and, no real people. And there's the experience of being in a place where there are real live humans performing is so, there's nothing like that, never will be.
Right. I couldn't agree more. I'm talking with Rebecca Parris and Louise Van Aarsen, and everyone knows Rebecca, and we'll play some selections from one of her recent albums, but Louise has a brand new one, and it's called Destiny. It's I love this singer, scientist, songwriter. I love that. And I've got to ask you, growing up in Holland, you said you sang, and how influential was American jazz music for you? I mean, did you really experience a lot of it when you were growing up as a kid?
Yeah, well, I mean, really in terms of talking about radio now, right? Radio, jazz radio being actually not appreciated enough here these times, and fading away in Boston and everywhere. I grew up in Holland where there was a lot of jazz radio, and I think the same problem is also occurring there with my Dutch friends. Goedemorgen, I have to say that now, so because they're hopefully waking up right now.
All right.
I grew up with the North Sea Jazz Festival almost right next to my home, where I grew up in The Hague.
Yes.
And I went there. It was the highlight of my summer. And I saw all the great names there every summer. So that was certainly a huge inspiration, seeing the greats and hearing.
Well, it's true that American jazz was a great export in the 20s and 30s and 40s. And even
great
now,
radio shows in Holland, too.
Yeah, even now, I mean, it's kind of a shame that we send it out, that there isn't an outlet here wink, wink, nod, nod, not far from me, that people have to go to Europe to hear it sometimes. But in terms of modeling yourself after someone, everyone wants to sort of imagine they'd be up on that stage like so-and-so. Were there certain artists that you adored as a young girl in Holland?
I think everybody influences me. I listen to, a lot of soul, pop, jazz. I can say Ella, Sarah, Carmen, all the regular ones. But it was also, I loved Earth, Wind and Fire and the Commodores and whatever, everybody that was hip in my youth.
By the way, we're going to play a lot more selections from this, but I want to give your website, which is your name, right?
Right. LouiseVanAarsen.com.
And it's Van, V-A-N, Aarsen, A-A-R-S-E-N.com. Louise, the first name.
You can also find me on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Where are you playing? Let's put it that way. That's the thing, right, Rebecca, that it's one thing to have a CD. Thank God I can put people on and promote you guys, but where can we see you? That's the next question.
Well, we're working on that. We're looking at really starting some performances in the fall. Right now, preparing for that live performance other than a rehearsed record release with certain material and the musicians that played on the album. You kind of really need to prep for, a trio versus 7 pieces, or a piano player versus 4 pieces and whatnot. And so we're really looking at venues now that can accommodate all different types of configurations of music and putting her out in certain things. Right now she's showcasing, she's done, what's the one in Framingham?
Oh, the Amazing Things.
The Amazing Things.
Oh, the Amazing Things Art Center.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Michael's great.
Michael's lovely.
Fantastic.
And,
but there needs to be more than just, an occasional venue.
Really
it's too bad.
Of course. And and here we go with the problem that I mentioned before, the venues are few and far between. The competition level for nights in those venues is sky high. We live in an area where there's the prominent jazz schools of Berkeley and New England Conservatory, and it's like, there are hundreds of people graduating, hundreds of people already performing, and unfortunately students seem to work for nothing. So they'll work for nothing simply because they really want to work, but unfortunately they're cutting their own noses off to spite their faces, because as they get older and as they have to pay the rent, they're going to find out that they've trained all of their employers into paying them nothing.
Exactly.
So it's a very bad thing for the business.
Yeah. Let's do this. Vanessa, what do you have queued up there? You have Rebecca queued up? All right. I'm going to go into the break with something from Rebecca Parris's You Don't Know Me. We'll come back with Louise, another cut from Destiny. 2 outstanding artists, one who's just breaking through with a brand new CD. The other, of course, let's put it this way, a mainstay. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.
My big example.
You like that? Here's Rebecca. We'll come back after this and talk some more.
The sun and west of the moon, we'll build a dream, a house of love, dear, near to the sun in the day, near to the moon at night. We're gonna live in a lovely way, dear, living on love and pale moonlight, just you and I, forever and a day. Love will not die, 'cause we'll keep it that way. Up among the stars, we'll find the harmony of life to a lovely tune. East of the sun and west of the moon, my dear. East of the sun and west of the moon.
Dan Ray.
Stolen Valor Act infringes upon speech protected by the First Amendment. How does the First Amendment protect lies and fraud?
Your Nightside host.
Stolen Valor. This guy should be in jail if he tries to benefit himself in any way as he did in this case.
Weeknights at 8.
We're not talking about someone here who says, I was in the military and I did this, or this is a guy who was never in the military and is claiming the highest military honor, Medal of Honor.
The News Watch never stops.